Hello, welcome to episode 6 of the Nobody Important podcast. This episode we are officially dubbing the social distancing edition because it is going to be audio only. We are actually not in the same place for the first time. But I am Ramon.
I am Felipe.
And he's going to have a slight delay on him because he needs to remember to unmute himself on this microphone. But as we get started,
I've been pressing the fucking button. Push the fucking button.
Push the fucking button. As we're getting started, just want to say that with this being our first audio only episode, we are now officially on several podcasting platforms. So we are on Anchor, Pocket Cast, Spotify, and then on YouTube as always. Soon to be coming to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. But follow us on Instagram at the Nobody Important Podcast, and really check us out on any of the podcasting platforms that you listen to.
Sweet. Thanks for all the work you did, man. That's when you showed me everything we're on right now, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I definitely went a little overboard in making sure that I wanted to get on all the platforms. I wanted to get this all up and running. But I digress. Let's dive into the show. We'll start on our first episode, obviously, or our first segment. I don't have the camera to show you what our drink of the week is, but we actually are doing two. And so I will let Felipe start with his.
So I've been recommended that I may have a drinking problem. So this week I've been trying not to drink, just to have a dry week. I'll go into that a little bit. But I made myself a strawberry Faux-jito. Basically, I muddled some strawberries, some mint, simple syrup, and then I top with sparkling lemonade, and it tastes all right. I wish I would have used more strawberries to get more strawberries flavor, but here I am.
Hey, there you go, man. But I'm gonna say I love the idea of the Faux-jito. Like, just for some reason, that word just faux just makes me laugh in literally any sort of use case that it ends up being used in. I don't know why, but it just always makes me laugh. As far as my
I
drink,
appreciate the French.
hey, right? So for my drink, I went with an old classic. Being as we are doing audio only, and that's kind of how podcasts started, I decided to go with an old classic. And I'm just doing a simple old fashioned. So old fashioned is pretty much straight bourbon, but with a little bit of a twist. So it's 2 ounces of bourbon, 1 teaspoon of water, 3 dashes of angostura bitters, and a half teaspoon of sugar. You mix it all together, you stir it all together, and then you put a little orange peel in it and just a large ice cube, and that's it. So it's pretty much just straight bourbon, but with a little bit of added sweetness to it. And I'm using Elijah Craig, which I am a huge fan of because I still can't find the damn Blantons.
You know what? I hope you took a picture of it before you took a sip, just because I think we'd probably put it on Instagram.
You know what? That's probably a good idea. I wasn't thinking about that, and that's something I probably should have done. But I can do that very briefly. Done.
Damn it! I was hoping your phone would be on off silent, so you would hear the noise.
See, you're trying to catch me up, but it doesn't work. I've already thought about that and I've already planned that. So yes, you're trying to sabotage me, but it actually didn't work out.
Something good about me being on speech to or press to talk. I keep burping because of the fucking sparkling lemonade. Like the last the last 3 seconds of me being quiet was me just having a long ass burp.
Oh my god. So basically no sparkling lemonade and no beer on these episodes that we have learned just from the amount of times that it makes us burp.
Right? Was it the Chofi? Yeah, that was
yeah, the Chofi. Yeah, it was a good ass beer, but yeah, we were burping throughout the entire thing. But as I digress, we'll move on from the drinks and move into, honestly, it's probably my favorite segment that we do. It's a segment, Honor and Report, where we talk about something good from the week and something bad. And it can be one thing, it can be multiple. Do you want to start? Should I start?
I'll go because I like yours more than mine. The my well, actually, this became a little viral a few weeks ago, which is how I saw it. Was that city official for some city in Florida as a Lake Worth Beach, and he was called. He was like at a city meeting, and he called out the mayor for her lack of action on everything. And you just hears like, "This is your fault. We should have done this and this and this." Like, and he was just so passionate about it. And ultimately, I'm just a fan of calling people out on their bullshit.
Yeah,
And
and he was
whether
animated.
Oh yeah, and whether you agree or disagree on that they should have shut down or shouldn't have shut down, it it's just like, man, the passion behind this is like calling her out. It's like, this is your fault, and then everyone trying to get back into order of like, hey, let's get the meeting back, and they're all just walking up. It's like, so can we come back in like 5 minutes? But that dude's passion is something you'd hope to see in a lot more civil servants, and but yeah, but that to me was made me laugh, and
That
it was
was
a good.
intense. I mean, that
Yeah,
deserves both an honor and a report just from the person he was calling out on their bullshit too. So
I almost considered just double dipping on that one, but then I saw this story of France finding homeless people for not staying indoors during their lockdown, and I was like,
what?
how? Why? Where are they supposed to go? They're homeless. I saw the fines were like anywhere from like 30 to 40, whatever their currency is.
I think they use euros.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah. So 30 to 40 euros, and it's like you're never gonna get that paid, right? Like they ain't gonna pay that fine.
Yeah, like what? How are you gonna find someone that's homeless for staying outdoors? That makes no sense.
Yeah, that just made me laugh. I was like, bad on you to finding people who obviously can't pay you.
Yeah, and like just taking advantage of those people. That one's really shitty. That why are they? Whatever. I'm baffled by that one, but I
Yeah,
feel
I'm not
like I've
gonna go into that.
seen. I feel like I've seen other places like proposing that too. I think I saw somewhere in the U.S. they're like proposing that idea too, and it just sounded stupid all around.
But you know what's interesting about that is downtown. I've seen way less homeless people. Like
Really
almost none. It's weird. Like maybe a fourth of what I'm used to seeing.
interesting. So just like they're in shelters or maybe who knows what happened, but that is crazy. I mean, the
Now,
amount of people that for that.
the only thing that makes sense is that since there's less people downtown, they don't have a reason to come downtown.
Ah, yeah, that's valid.
But well, hopefully, they don't come back because I had one today just pulled out his dick and peed along the front sidewalk today, and he just left a stream across the front. It
You just
I
whipped it out and peed in front of your building.
Yep, and I think something's wrong with him because man, his piss had a long, like strong piss smell, like almost instantaneously.
Oh my
Like it wasn't
gosh.
even dry and it smelled bad.
I mean, oh, that is terrible. You're just watching the whole thing happen. Uh,
You no, fuck you for thinking that. It's like I was on the phone and my concierge comes like, hey, there's something like she was saying something, but I was on the phone and I came back. What happened? It's like this homeless guy was peeing out front. And I just started laughing.
good lord, that is awful. I mean, hey, you gotta go, but man, just at something, just whipping it out right there and it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna let it rip.
My maintenance guy was not just like you see him walking around with a fucking mop. It's like, man, fuck this shit.
Oh, poor maintenance guy. That is ridiculous. So I guess I'll go with my honor. I'm trying to stay away from all of like the political stuff going on. I'm trying to stay away from like, everyone's talking about, COVID, coronavirus, all of that, like trying to get and it's just overwhelming the news and it's really freaking depressing. So I'm trying to not spend that much time talking about it during this episode, even though it is entirely the reason why we're doing audio only. But for my honor, like I'm kind of doing a cop out, I'm not gonna lie, but literally it's just every doctor, nurse, paramedic, anyone that's involved with trying to take care of people, treat people, but then also people that just stay the fuck home. Like, if you're just doing that, like, that alone is worthy of an honor in the current world that we're in, just from the amount of stupid people that are still going out and just like nothing's going on. The amount of people that just last week or however long ago that were on spring break in Florida and just saying, like, yeah, I don't care if I get it, no big deal. Like, we just want to party. And like, I think all of them that were interviewed, or at least half of them that were interviewed, ended up catching it. Like, you
Oh, did
freaking
did they really?
yeah, they all they pretty much
Oh,
all ended up getting it.
yo, I want to see. That's fucking hilarious to me because get what you deserve. But I saw that too. Like California when it's shut down, and people were still at the beach, and yeah, it sucks
Yeah,
that some people aren't taking it seriously. Like there's taking it seriously, and then there's being paranoid about it. I think you just got to find the medium and just make sensible decisions about everything.
that's it.
Uh,
I mean, at the end of the day, like, the biggest thing is just stay the fuck home. That's it. Like, that I realize that's difficult. I struggle with that. But that's what you gotta do. And if that's what you gotta do, that's what you do.
touching up on the doctors and nurses, have you seen those pictures of those medical workers who have bruises on their faces from the mask and the goggles they've worn all fucking day?
Oh, yeah, that guy, he had it for, like, 14 hours or 16
It,
hours, and it,
it's
like,
like,
cut up his entire face.
and it's like, holy shit! You don't realize, like, I mean, that not only are they risking their lives being there treating these people, but like the equipment they're wearing is physically hurting them as they're
Yeah.
working. It's like, fuck, that is devotion to your fellow man right there.
Yeah, that's definitely a crazy one, and, greatly like I said, my honor, it's kind of a cop out because everyone's saying, "Thank you to those people," but I'm gonna do the same because, like, we have never seen anything like this throughout the entirety that any of us have been alive. And so, like, that is well deserved that those people deserve all the credit and just thank yous and support whatever that we can give them because I sure as hell couldn't do that job. But like sure as hell
Mm,
could not do that.
nope. No,
But on the flip side, you know, going towards my report, every single business right now, not every single, but a large amount of businesses are going just entirely remote, work from home, whatever you want to call it, my company including. And so I've been on non-stop calls for the last week and a half now, where every single day it's just call after call after call of things that we're talking about, things that we're doing. And the amount of people that are just like overly just cheery and gung ho and like all of these things on a conference call is infuriating. Like that is my one where I'm just like that's my report this week or the people that are on these conference calls and they're just this like over the top like happy excited like our company's in a freaking doom and gloom situation and you're like oh my team is so great and I want to thank all of my leadership and you guys are so supportive and I'm like no, that's not what's happening right now. Like let's be real.
yeah, I've had a few calls like that, and it's like everyone on the call, it's just like nothing is happening. We're just working from home. Like, nah, bitch, shit's going down. Like, so what are you, there's let's do what we have to do so we could go back to what we're doing, like our regular tasks. But man, it is like don't treat it like this is normal what we're doing.
Yeah, that's just absolutely ridiculous. And then not only that, but all of the companies that are making pandemic related puns in all of their advertising, like I don't know why, but that shit just irritates the hell out of me. It really does.
I haven't seen that. Who's? Do you have an example? I'm
Oh
curious
my
now.
god. So I've seen different companies of like the one that comes to mind right now. I saw one that they're basically saying, "Hey, you're not able to do Coachella?" It's like, "Well, let's do Couchella instead and let me sell you this audio equipment."
It's fucking stupid.
I'm
What
like
the
and
fuck?
so like all these different companies are going into just advertising related like that and I think part of it is through email as well too just through all the spam emails I get through a bunch of different companies but damn. And actually, you know what? That just reminded me on who I truly wanted to report because this ties back into something that I talked about a couple weeks ago.
Oh fuck,
I
what?
I did not realize the amount of companies that have my damn email address that I signed up for, like an account or anything like that, until about 2 weeks ago when I started getting like 6 emails a day, maybe more, like 6 to 10 emails a day of companies saying,
Our
our
response
COVID
to COVID
promise, our
19.
response. Holy shit.
Yup.
How many companies did I sign up for that all of a sudden they're emailing me about this?
Right? Like it's nonstop. I'm like, you mean that company I bought underwear from 2 years ago? I don't give a shit about how you're handling the COVID-19. I was 2 years ago.
I unsubscribed from your newsletter and you're still sending me this. Like, I don't care.
Oh my god. Yeah, I've been getting so many of those. It's quite funny to see some of the companies
Yeah.
I forget I ordered from. I'm like, oh, right, that's right. I did buy something from you. No, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good bad guy
Yeah. I
report. Yeah.
just thought about that one the moment I started talking. I was like, you know what? That takes my report for the week because holy shit. I got so many emails.
So something that's, I mean, trying to be positive about this. Something that's really really cool is being able to take the freeway home after work, because there is no traffic out right now. It is so nice, and even my commute's like 20 minutes regularly, like through the streets. It's like down to 8 on the freeway. It's so fucking
that's
nice.
that's ridiculous. And I always forget like you are actually still or you're in a business where like you are required to still be on site. So you're not able to do a lot of your stuff remote like I've been
It
doing.
In theory, I could work from home. I have poor self control, and then when I have staff who I'm having go to work, it to me it's like it shows little confidence in things if I'm not willing to go in, but I'm making them go. That's
Yeah.
basically where I'm coming from.
I mean, I can see that, but I don't know. That's just man, that is rough. I'm just saying I'm glad that I am able to do this to work from home because I mean, I it is nice to actually have that opportunity and spend that time just away from of everything to kind of catch up on work that I'd been behind on and to really focus on kind of planning for the future because normally I don't get that kind of time.
Well, I imagine you had just have way more time to do other things now that you're not spending how much in traffic?
Yeah, I was doing probably anywhere from an hour to hour and a half each way every single day. So like hour and 15 minutes or so in the morning, like an hour and a half at night on the way.
So you got 3 hours of your life back, basically.
Essentially, yeah. I pretty much got like three, about two and a half, anywhere from probably 2.5 to 3 hours back every single day, just by working at home.
God damn, man, that's crazy. I mean, you could watch a movie if you watch movies.
Yeah, I could definitely hold on to quite a while, or definitely my brain is not working. Wow. But I can definitely like just watch movies. I can get a lot of work done. And I'm finding that a lot of the work that I'm getting done is during that 3 hour period where I would normally just be stuck in traffic.
And whatever works, right? It's like I I would I think I would struggle if if I had to do an hour and a half of fucking traffic, because I almost did that for, and then things changed, and I'm glad I don't have to sit in traffic like you do, man.
Yeah, it's definitely nice. I will say that that is definitely nice. But what was your report? Did you already do one?
Yeah, it was France
Oh yeah,
fighting
yeah, yeah.
homeless people.
France finding the fuel. I was like, slipped my mind for a second. I was like, wait, was that officially a report? But yeah, yeah, it was. Uh,
So let me ask you this. Let's one more thing before we move on from the Rona, as the kids call it. What do you miss most about the way life was 3 weeks ago, basically?
um, just being able to go anywhere the hell I wanted.
I
Like,
Yeah, I didn't even think about that one. Yeah, that's true.
Like that's literally it. I mean, I'm never home.
Mm.
I spend most of my days just outside of my house. Like it's very rare that I spend really any significant amount of time in my own house, which for better and for worse. But I like to go out. I like to do things. I like to go to restaurants, go to like stores, go to look around, get different
Well,
ideas for things. And
I
so
I
it's
think on
tough.
Facebook I saw you post the tickets for some event, right? You were trying to get rid of something. Like that's how
Yeah.
you're like, we're probably not gonna get a chance to see this in a few weeks, so fuck. Um, yeah.
Yeah, there was a comedian that was in town or that was going to be in town. It got postponed now. But a comedian that was going to be in town that I was like, well, we're probably not going to go get to see it because kind of everything's starting to go into lockdown. And sure enough, yeah, they postponed it. But it's stuff like that. Like I love going to like my wife and I will go to comedy shows. We'll go to bars that have live music. Like we like to just spend so much time out of the house because we just otherwise we end up just being really lazy, and so it's nice to get out and actually be active and do things, and now it's really not something we can do, so I gotta say that's what I do miss.
So I'm an introvert. So the thing I miss the most is that tomorrow baseball season was supposed to start. And it's gonna be
Yeah, no.
weird. Fuck you. It's gonna be weird not be able to like. Well, here's the thing. Sometimes you get home and you play your streams, right? Any stream on your TV, and you do something else. That's me
Yeah,
in baseball. I like the hearing that background noise of a game while I go do something else. That to me is soothing. So it's like this thing I've been waiting for since last October. It's like, oh shit, this may not happen, or if it does happen, it's going to be a really shortened season. Fuck.
I mean they play like 160 games anyway, like even if it's way through the season then you'll still get 80 something games.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but we'll see what happens. Like, I don't know. There's a lot more to it that we obviously can't talk about because you're not into sports, or at least baseball. Um, but anyways, that is what I kind of miss. That life. If life were going well, I would have the Diamondbacks starting tomorrow.
Yeah, well, they're not, and so you get to actually keep your sanity a little bit longer instead of another local team losing all of their games.
Hey, fuck you.
So you sent me an article earlier, and I didn't get a chance to read it. What the hell was that about? Like some deaf man suing Pornhub?
Yeah, so he says he can't enjoy the video content because he can't understand what the fuck they're saying, or yeah, he can't make out what they're saying. And to me, it's like I don't know. I've been on that website a lot, and I don't remember ever like there's no caption closed caption button like you find on YouTube, right? Like
I have no
why
idea.
why would he expect it? To me, it's
Oh
like
my.
but let me see. He in his suit he named. Oh, here's the video he named. Hot step aunt babysits disobedient nephew, and sexy cop gets witness to talk.
Oh my
Wait,
god.
he could not continue to watch these because of the lack of closed captioning. I I mean, America, where you can sue for whatever the fuck you want, but good God, man,
Hey, isn't that a subreddit? Watch it for the plot.
that is a good subreddit. There's a lot of good subreddits, guys. If you're ever interested, maybe one day we'll make a
Yeah, we're
list
not
of
making a
things you
podcast
should.
about that.
Oh, I mean,
But
hey,
yeah,
a lot of.
that's a guy that is very, very interested in the plot of his porno.
I mean, because what else would you be interested hearing, reading moan? I don't get what the fuck he's after, but all right.
Hey, you know what? To each their own. That's something that works for him and good for him. But that is I saw that and I didn't want to give that article a click. I just didn't want to. I
I
couldn't
don't
believe
I
it.
don't want that in my history.
Yeah, oh yeah, my search history, like I don't like want anything in my search history. I'm like I scrub it. I use like incognito browser, even for just like Googling like a cocktail recipe. I don't even want any of that in there because it all gets tracked.
So a few days ago, I'm not sure how the hell we were on this topic, but Oh, it's because I believe there's an escort in my building. And
Ah, okay.
we were curious, like, I don't know, man, she's not that attractive. I don't know how much she's really worth. Uh, and uh, our friend found a escort site, and then he started sending shit to me as like, we were going through it. And then suddenly you hear him like, "Oh fuck! That link you just sent me opened up in my regular browser. That's in my history now. I fucking lost it." He's like, "Yeah, good job, man."
Yeah, there's incognito browsers for like everything because again, this goes back to my whole thing from a couple weeks ago about talking where I just have like I want to have the separate email for just spam and all of that. It's the same kind of thing. Like you Google something once and now you have a million ads for it and it pisses me off. There are things that I didn't even Google. There are things that I sent text messages about that I've seen ads for.
Yeah, that's unsettling when that happens. Like Mix and I discussed going to Japan as a fucking joke, and then on Instagram the next day I get Airbnb ads for Japan on Instagram. Like, what the fuck, man? It's creepy. But then I learned that you could
Yeah.
get a sleep in a hole in Japan for $46 a night. So
The useless knowledge that everyone wants, but no one knows that they want.
exactly. And then it's like going off that. It's like, can you imagine how much shit you have in your head you probably shouldn't have? Like your memory could be put to better use memorizing other things. Yeah, I remember that one hotel room or that one Airbnb room in Japan. Fantastic.
Yeah, this is true. It's just that random amount of stuff that you feel like it can be used for something better, but that's ultimately what you end up using it for.
Yeah, there's goddamn I don't know how many things in my head I wish I could delete, but we aren't computers. We aren't computers. Have you been doing anything trying to make up your take up your time after you're done with work at home?
Honestly, so my big thing this week was stuff for this podcast. So as you saw, me getting everything uploaded, but I've been actually going down like a deep rabbit hole on news, which I never do, but specifically news not related to the virus and all of that going on. And it actually
Mhm.
the thing that piqued my interest was I saw a question online and it said if COVID and this coronavirus wasn't dominating the news, what would be the biggest stories? And I love shit like that when I see
I,
like, okay, what are like some stories that don't get enough attention? And
I,
like
I'm
that, I went deep down a rabbit hole on that.
I'm really curious because I can't think of many stories because I don't really watch the news to begin with, and if you go to anything the like you said it, COVID-19 is everywhere. So yeah, well, I
That's
mean,
it.
what do you got? What do you got? Let me see.
So there was one, and it's kind of I mean, it is related to COVID, but I'm trying to limit the amount of time that I talk about this. But there were several members of Congress that had been briefed on some of the early news and everything like that relating to the virus and on what actions we would take on how it's going to spread on how they're predicting it to spread how severe it'll be stuff like that those same or a few members of Congress, I think it's 3 of them, I don't have their names in front of me, ended
Mhm.
up leaving that meeting and then selling off a shit ton of shares of stock that they had, valued well over $1,000,000 each.
God damn. Yeah, I saw that
So
story and it pissed me
before the
off.
markets crashed.
Hmm.
So before they just took a dive. So like they got this information based on what they're predicting happen like from a federal level what the government is predicting and then using that information they then went and sold stocks that they had to make millions of dollars before the market saw a big dip and before they lost that money
It
if anyone other than a member of Congress does that they're in prison for insider trading.
exactly. That was my question. That's insider trading, right? I would hope it comes into some type of investigation, right? Like everyone, especially those elected officials, should be held to somewhat of a higher standard. So, like, hey, if I mean, I wish I had an example of a normal person doing that and going to jail for. Oh, Martha Stewart even
Martha
went to jail.
Stewart, yeah.
Yeah,
Martha Stewart, of all people, went to jail for insider.
and was it like for 2 years or
Yeah.
something like
And so,
that?
like, if she can go to jail for that, then
These
why the
motherfuckers
hell?
can go to jail too.
Hell yes. Hell yes. Like, that is such a bullshit story for them to be able to get away with making over $1 million off of selling their stock based on information that they were privy to by being a part of Congress. That's bullshit.
Man, yeah, that one annoyed me. I really want an investigation. I'm not obviously they're not my Congress people, or else I'd be like, mail your congressman. But like, man, could you imagine last week we were about to write a Yelp review, this week we're about to write a congressman? What?
It's escalating. Maybe by the end of this, we'll write a letter to the president. He may not be able to read it, but
Oh,
I didn't say that out loud. Another story that
I'm glad I didn't say
I
that.
came across though. This one, honestly, like this one actually pisses me off more than the whole thing about Congress.
Okay.
And so I was trying to like think of a way I can talk about this without going deep down a rabbit hole because you know I can. Is have you heard of the Earn It Act?
I have not.
So it is a bill that was recently proposed in Congress that under the under the premise of trying to stop and shut down like child predators. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how they've positioned it. That's how they've done it. That's how they've talked about it. Is basically we want to do this to stop child predators, to stop child trafficking, to stop images, pictures, any of that like being circulated. The whole goal of this bill, according to how they passed it, is to stop that, which totally valid, totally legitimate, right?
Yeah.
So how do you stop that? They want to ban end-to-end encryption across any site or any service that uses it. So
So
go ahead.
go ahead. No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
So basically, that means that they want the ability to, from a federal standpoint, to access all of your data, no matter what service that you're using, whether it's a text message, Facebook, WhatsApp, Snapchat, um, any of those services, and then some. Like there's a lot more services that are fully end to end encrypted for privacy and for security, but they want access to all of those services in order to ensure that no one is distributing child trafficking or any child images, any of that stuff.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Like you what I understand it's probably a huge problem. Like we don't really see it in many stores, but and I know it's something we need to stop, but taking the liberty and privacy of everybody else just because you want to make that part easier. I'm sorry. What the fuck? And why would people in Congress be okay with taking more liberties and rights away from people from privacy? Right?
Yep.
That to me makes no sense. Like, why do you need to know everything I'm in? Right.
And it's been a constant fight for the last few years. Do you remember a few years ago when they tried to force Apple to give them access to
Mm-hmm.
all of the messages?
Mm-hmm.
That's where this really blew up and started coming big because Apple is a huge, huge proponent of privacy and end to end encryption. And they're like, hey, even we can't get into our systems that way. You're wanting
Mm-hmm.
us to build this vulnerability into our systems to allow people in it. And that's exactly what they're doing. Here's the fucking even more messed up part about it, though, is that if this does pass, companies that are found responsible for illegal activities being conducted through their platform are liable to
Huh.
like criminal penalties. So like
Huh.
if WhatsApp, for example, if WhatsApp decides to decides to disregard this and they decide to still continue to use end-to-end encryption so that way your messages are secure and so that way people can't access in. If someone then goes and plans a crime through WhatsApp, because it is encrypted, WhatsApp is now considered liable and the leaders of the company can then be prosecuted from a criminal standpoint.
What the fuck? No, 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 no! I can't. How? How can they do that? How can they do that? That's such bullshit. No,
Yeah.
no, yo. Because I mean, I don't know if it's true or not. Remember when the September 11th? I think one of the rumors was that they planned it through Xbox Live.
Yep.
Could you imagine Bill Gates being up there being charged with this or
Because someone did something through like Microsoft meetings or whatever.
yeah, like what the fuck? No, no, that
Yeah.
just that pisses me off. I fuck that.
Yeah. It's literally it seriously feels like the whole old man yells at cloud. That's seriously what it feels like.
Mm,
Like you have people that are in power that don't understand the world
hmm.
and they hate it and they're just trying to control it and manipulate it every way that they can because they don't understand it.
Oh God, what was it? Some senators brought the guy from Google, and he asked like, when my granddaughter looks this up and looks at my name, she comes up with like, it's like I can't control search results. Search results is what you people look for. That's how we get our
Yeah.
responses. It's like if bad stories come, uh, is what your granddaughter sees. It's because that's what people are writing. It's like maybe
Yeah.
be a better person in what you're doing, and maybe people will stop writing shitty things about you, dude. Like, uh,
Yeah, it's been a mess, and, like, stuff like this only gets proposed when there's a distraction to prevent people from knowing that it's a possibility.
mm-hmm.
That's the part that's irritating.
It's that's just the way they do it, man. It's like it's infuriating, like you said. It's infuriating they think they can get away with this, and ultimately they probably are because no one's paying attention to them. And
Yeah.
I think this would hurt us as consumers more because if there's this vulnerability, there's people who are way smarter than you and I will ever be who are going to be working diligently at trying to get this information themselves.
Oh, hell yeah, 100%. If you send a text message or, iMessage, WhatsApp, whatever, with, like, your bank account, any sort of private information that could potentially be accessed, that's no longer under this bill. Again, it hasn't passed, but under the proposal of this bill, that could potentially be something that can be harvested and just stolen.
And I hate that the checks and balances that the founding fathers set in place are probably going to fail us in this because of the way government is set up now.
Yeah,
It,
because it's all old people that don't understand how the world works. Like, I shouldn't say it that way, but that's basically what it is. You look at any of our politicians, and they're all senior citizens that probably don't understand why their iPhone has a 6-digit passcode.
that and it's like they've been in power for so long that they're just not in touch with reality a lot of the times too,
Yeah.
and that goes for both sides.
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter who it is. Like
No,
literally,
it's just old people. It really is. It's just the old
li-
people that are the problem.
yeah, that's that's one hell of a way to say it. Uh, but for this bill, it was proposed by two members of each party, so it's not like it was either
Oh, it's
one. It's literally just two.
bipartisan.
Yeah,
Oh shit, those motherfuckers. They come
yeah, it's
together
two
to
members
take
of each
away
party.
our fucking oh god damn it. Son of a
Yeah,
bitch.
that's what makes it so much worse. It's been bad,
I
man.
am just like face palming over here of I didn't hear about this. You're right. That is the perfect Ask Reddit question and answer right there. Cause that's a huge story that no one knows about.
Nope.
Holy
And so
crap.
I have been going deep down that rabbit hole this week on just
Mhm.
all of those different articles, like all of the different stories of things that would be otherwise newsworthy, but because of the situation that the world is in right now, they're not getting any coverage at all.
I I'm I wish I paid more attention to the world now because I have I have nothing to contribute to that. My life has been pretty much COVID-19 the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean that's most people's lives.
Like my other story was like, did you see that strip club in Vegas that was gonna have, because the tradition is mud wrestling. They're gonna have hand sanitizer wrestling. That
Oh
was
my
my
god.
contribution to something else that's going on in the world. It's like, hey, I mean, could you imagine that shit? Like that must sting. Like, what if you get it in your eye? I mean, I guess mud
if you
hurts
got
too.
if you get a cut, if you like
Oh,
your skin will just get dry as hell.
I mean, my skin's super dry now with all the hand washing and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't sound good. And then just like all the possible places hand sanitizer can get in that would just burn. Yeah,
That
that's
wound that
not a
never
good idea.
heals. Uh,
Yeah.
God damn, man. And typically we're not gonna really about politics much, just because it's always, I don't know, it's just so much crap that you hard to get really beginning to end get a good answer out of anything. But man, that's something I think we both could agree on. This just bullshit. I I'm annoyed now.
I think that's pretty much my mission every episode now is to find something where I can just make you speechless and annoyed. And so
Uh,
far, I think I'm 2 for 2.
yeah, fuck that guy from last time of the Total Wine guy. Oh, so I told you this earlier. So next to my work, there's a bar, and I'm trying to become friends with a bartender just because. Well, I mean, based off our stories last week, sometimes being friends with bartender works out really well for you, and I think
True.
we're getting close to something because I was telling Ramon earlier that this guy may have a one way for us to get Blanton's, which is that bourbon you really really want. But I was in there, and as I mentioned the Blanton story and how you were struggling, I told him your Total Wine story, and he's like, "Yo, that dude's a dick." Like, there's so many better ways to say we don't have it, but
That's
just to
it. That's all
blatantly
you gotta say.
say,
We don't have it.
and then like, I bet you that guy's gonna sell it somewhere and just make money off. I'm like, right, like. But what the fuck? Yeah, like, no, it's like, oh, I was so nice that the bartender was also as equally pissed off as I was last week.
Yeah, because I mean that shit. I'm sure that makes it harder for him too. Like just as the owner of a bar, trying to get different things. I'm sure people like that make it more difficult for him too.
Mm-hmm. But man, yeah, fuck that guy. Fuck the two
Honestly, so you
congressmen's.
mentioned you mentioned it earlier, and I totally forgot to double back to this. But now that we're talking about drinks again, it made me think about it. So you mentioned something about like a dry week.
Yeah.
So
So
what is going on?
so with the world ending, quote unquote, I figured that it'd be a good time to stock up on liquor. Uh, as I was showing Ramon and our other friend Mix the pictures of all the stuff I've bought, both of them independently of each other, both showed very much concern over the amount I'm drinking. I really don't drink that much. They think I do because I talk about it a lot. I mean, so I don't think I do. I mean, whatever.
Hey,
I mean, fuck. Last time I was drunk was only at your wedding. That was the first time I was drunk. So fuck you. Um,
valid.
but funny enough, like 2 days later, a YouTube channel I've really started picking up on called the Whiskey Vault, and they have a secondary channel called the Whiskey Tribe. They drink a type of bourbon or whiskey, and then at near the end of it, they answer questions that people ask them. And one of them was like, how do you avoid this hobby of yours from getting the best of you? Because ultimately, it's something that damages the body. I mean, it's hurting our livers, right?
Yeah. I
And
mean
they're like,
excessively, yeah.
yeah, they're like, well, I mean, you guys may think we drink a lot, and because you see this huge wall of whiskey behind us, reality, I have 3 bottles of whiskey at home, and those were gifts. I don't really drink much outside of quote unquote work. And then just to make sure we're moderating each other, we do a dry week, which they don't drink anything once a quarter. Because if you can't go a week without drinking, then you probably have other issues you need to address. And it's like, you know what? That is perfect. I think if I go a week without drinking, you and Mix would be like, yeah, okay, maybe he has it under control, and we don't have to worry about him as much. So today is my last drink was Saturday, so
Okay.
for 4 days, and
Yeah.
I finished my
Hence the
little
hence the faux
Hito.
faux-jito today.
I finished it already, and I'm trying to get my garnish out so I can eat the strawberry. Um, so and actually it seemed like a profound moment when I saw them. It was like, oh yeah, these guys who make a living off drinking whiskey are like, yeah, I mean, you shouldn't be doing this, and this is how we kind of deal with it. And it's like, it's cool. It's something a YouTube channel showed me.
Yeah,
Um,
that's valid. No, it's
it
actually good. I didn't even think about something like that. Uh, that's a really good point.
I was actually initially going to go 30 days because of another YouTuber I watch did it like a few years ago when his friends brought up to him that they thought he was an alcoholic and he went 30 days. I'm like, oh no, man, I just bought a shitload of liquor. I don't really want to go 30 days without drinking. I bought all this stuff to drink.
Yeah.
So
We got to
a
finish
week.
building my bar at the house and set it on display.
And I told you, anything I buy based off these videos I've been watching and don't like is going to go into your bar because eventually someone will drink it.
Yeah, this
Eventually.
is true. We still have the one Japanese whiskey that is just a gag at this point.
That, like I told you, I bought the Jamaican rum that just had a weird funk to it that I just wasn't really vibing with. I guess I like white rum. So
Gotcha.
there's that. But yeah, that's my story of my dry week, and we'll see how it goes, and probably do it once every 6 weeks or so, just to make sure. And also, they also said that it resets the palate. So hey, of all
That's
these
valid.
shit we're drinking,
All the different things
may
we're trying, right?
yeah, because I'm that's all I'm really about. That even from going cooking and now drinking is being able to taste all the different things that you're supposed to taste when you eat a certain thing and drink a certain thing. Palate is a great thing to have, guys.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm still not that great as far as food and drinks. You being able to pick out all those ingredients, I'm a little jealous. I'm still not at that point, but
Oh,
eventually.
I bet you think I'm pretentious as fuck. Like when I dip my pinky into like that dipping sauce from Parlor for the
Dude,
squid.
anytime we go anywhere and you like taste the sauces, you taste whatever, you're like, oh, this has, all of these
It's
ingredients
like,
and
it's
it's
like
missing this or it
it's
should
like
have this.
roasted red pepper and like this. I'm like, and it to me, it's like it's me trying to verify that I have it, the taste, and I go back to the menu. I'm like, oh yeah, I did get all that. Because sometimes when we order things, I don't really read the menu all the way through, so I miss some of the ingredients. And it's like, yep, I taste it now that I say, yep, that is correct. So that's kind of why I do it, even though I come off looking like a pompous asshole sometimes.
You pretentious bastard.
Hell yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this week. Want to thank you guys for tuning in. This
Mm-hmm.
was episode 6. Again, follow us on any of your favorite podcasting platforms on Anchor, Pocket Cast, Spotify, on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at Nobody Important Podcast. And we will be coming soon to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Anything you want to add before we go?
Thanks for joining us on the social distancing episode. Hopefully we can get together soon, as I can't remember the last time I saw you.
Yeah, it'll be a little while, but we'll be all right. Cool.
Yep.
Thanks for listening, guys. Have a good one.
Later.